Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is a perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading. Just be aware parts may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you are watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Excuse me. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that will give you further clarity as to your situation now. So we have the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have, excuse me, the Knight of Cups. And so the Knight of Cups represents a cup of love here. The knights would work for the king and queen in the old days, and they would deliver messages to other kingdoms far and wide. And, in those days, that was the only way they had of long-distance communication. At this time, the Knight of Cups represents information coming in several ways. It could be in the post. It could be an email, a telephone call, a text message, the sort of energy of maybe going online and on your social media account, there's a message there, or you have you see a post and it's to an event and you go there and then you run into someone. Also the news, because what's happening at the top of the news is general trickling down into the rest of the population. So the Knight of Cups is the knight that you read about in romance novels and see in the movies. The knight in shining armor, the prince that comes in with a cup of love. And this quite often can represent a proposal of some sort for a stronger commitment in a relationship. And we'll see now who's proposing to who. About what? The cup is usually romantic love. Sometimes, though, it could be just a cup of loving someone else. It doesn't have to be romantic. And it also can represent an energy of something you love to do or be. And we have the 10 of Wands. So the wands in tarot represent the element of fire. And this is talking about, these wands are made of wood. Because wood feeds fire. And so this is talking about the passions in your life, the actions that you take. And this person clearly has a heavy load to carry here. And so this card represents the seeds that you planted have grown into these big wands. And they may be heavy just from the fruit of his labors. And he's ready to bring that harvest home. Some of them, though, a lot of the times, this can represent burdens, carrying burdens for others that don't belong to you. And also it can be actions that you've taken that have caused burdens for you now. And these don't even necessarily have to be like negative actions. It could be something like you purchased a house like 5 years ago and you really enjoyed living in the house, but now your circumstances have changed and you need to sell the house, but the market is soft and it's harder to do and you have to do some work on it, and you just want to get up and go, but you can't because you have to deal with this first. It's that kind of energy. So if you are carrying other people's burdens, it's saying put those burdens down and let other people carry their own burdens. He's very, very close to his home, and he could put down the burdens that don't belong to him. And, look up people who could maybe even rent his house out or something like that if he can't sell it right away. That kind of energy, like turning, problems into solutions, basically. And then, some of these might just be really ripe with the fruit of his labor. And, he needs to sort through it and see what's what. This card is saying don't give up, don't quit now. A lot of people quit just before they're about to become successful. And this is talking about, get home with the harvest and then deal with the rest kind of thing. This energy is sometimes, if you've heard the saying, can't see the forest because of the trees, so caught up in detail that you can't see the big picture anymore. Okay, we have the world coming in. So the world is at the end of a cycle. The Fool begins his journey at the 0 point, and then he goes through the entire cycle of the major arcana, and the very last card is the world, the number 21. This is saying you've achieved a lot here, and it's the end of this cycle, and pretty soon, this is going to be over, and you will be able to move forward and, and enjoy the fruits of your labor, basically. We have the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is talking about someone who that you're overthinking possibly, and this is talking about wanting to go inward and just isolate yourself for a little while, pray, meditate, and search for answers from within. And so this is talking about, quieting your mind. This person's in a church, and this is, he's got his, this sword represents putting his mind to rest. And this is hanging the subconscious, the unconscious, and the conscious mind up on the wall. And don't need you right now. I'm going to be meditating. I'm looking to feel, not think. So the subconscious mind are your thoughts that you've had since, you were a baby up until about 6 or 7. And babies are like sponges. You think about how much a baby learns in the first year. They absorb everything. And so the subconscious mind is made up of your environment when you were young, and also the thoughts of the people who are in charge of your care. And so this energy, when we get triggered, we tend to rely on our subconscious mind. It's the one that pops up first. I know, do this. But the problem with that is when you think about it, you don't remember very much of your life before, you were in kindergarten, basically. And so it's kind of like the thoughts that you're relying on aren't even your own anymore. They're the thoughts of the people who thought you were a certain way. And so the subconscious mind needs to be disciplined. And then we have the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind, a lot of people will say, I'm a human being with a soul. But it would be more accurate to say that you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle to navigate Earth. And your soul has requirements. And if you don't honor your soul, the spiritual side of yourself, what happens is it becomes very loud and it will, cause a lot of overthinking. Then we also have the conscious mind, and that's what you have a handle on. This is your own experiences, your own memories. You've been there, and you were actually there, and you remember it. And this person's in, it looks like a church, and there's a stained glass window here. And on this stained glass window is the word Pax. And Pax means peace. And so this is talking about peace of mind. When you quiet your mind and discipline it to work for you rather than against you, then you can reach your heart's desires. We have here the 9 of Cups. So this is a lot of cups. This 10th cup would make it 10 of Cups. That's the most that you can have in the tarot. This card is saying that you don't have it yet, but it's something that you wish you have. If you're wishing for something, it means you didn't have it, or you wouldn't be wishing for it anymore. So the problem is you can get caught up in the wishing loop, like, having the same repetitive thoughts and not really mastering how to get it, to actually get there. And so this is talking about really being disciplined and staying in the game. So that you can have, all the cups of love that represents, like, loving your partner, your children, your family, loving the work you do, loving where you live, that kind of energy, just having ultimate happiness in love, and a lot of love in your life in a perfectly imperfect world. This person appears to be on a stage, and either these cups are like trophies that are behind him, or they're above him, or maybe they're forward of him. So this past, present, future is being represented here. And we're talking, and he is a little uncomfortable in this position. He knows he's highly favored, and everybody in the audience knows he's highly favored. Having said that, he hasn't quite won yet. And you can see he's uncomfortable because of the way his feet are turned out here. He's really leaking a lot of energy, although he does have his arms here in the shape of an infinity symbol, basically. He reminds me a little bit of a genie. So this is talking about, he's been successful. He knows what success is. So this is saying just stay in the game, stay focused. Many a race is lost in the last lap. Stay in the race till the end, basically. That's the energy. And we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is considered the most sexy of all the kings. He is the kind of guy you wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. You could forgive him for anything because he's charming. He uses his words really, well. He's intelligent. He's a visionary thinker. He's someone that people enjoy being around. He's got a good sense of humor, just, passionate about life. Always ready for an adventure kind of energy. And he has the energy of the wand here. And remember, the wands are made of wood because they feed fire. And also, this represents a tree. And the tree has deep roots from the ancestors. And these offshoots represent the branches of the descendants moving forward. And so this is someone who's a visionary thinker. The thing about the King of the Wands is, he is a visionary thinker and he likes to look into the future and he loves the new. So that sometimes does make him a little bit, have a little bit of a wandering eye when it comes to matters of love. And behind him here, you notice on his throne here, he has, these salamanders in a circle and the lion. That represents an energy of a protection from fire. And he even has a little salamander running past him here. This energy, I noticed about a month ago that, hey, there's a face here. There's two eyes and nose with smoke coming out of it, and then a mouth with smoke coming out of it. So that either could mean he's smoking hot, or where there's smoke, there's fire kind of energy. And then we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is similar to the Knights. This is a version of the knight. In the old days, the pages would come into the palace to work, generally around between the ages of 7 and 14, depending on how mature they were. And they would come from the surrounding families in the area, the high society families. Sometimes they might be distantly related to the king and queen. And this energy is this page. Their main task would be to deliver messages back and forth within the palace walls, but they would be given other small tasks. And as they matured, they would be given more and more responsibility. And if they were still there when they were 21, they might even be considered for knighthood, as long as they could afford a horse. And so this is the energy of this. Sometimes can represent just like even an aha moment that you have. Aha, I have it. I know what I'm going to do. That kind of energy. It also can represent, again, the same type of communication that the knight would bring in, all the different ways we have to communicate now. This is also talking about, like, he understands that the sword is double-edged and that it's best to use your logic and your intuition together to have creative solutions. He likes to think outside the box. He's enthusiastic and he's always looking for new ways and improvements in how to do things. And so he's very much like the King of Wands in that kind of energy. He likes to think outside the box, and that's why he's the only page out of the elements that's not totally focused on his element. And this also reminds me of someone who's golfing. So, when the golf is a very mental sport, if you have a really bad first hole, it could ruin your whole game, and but if you can have discipline of your mind and be okay, well, I didn't throw the club yet, by the second hole, if you had a really bad hole in the first hole, and the second one, if you can discipline your mind, you may even get a hole in one. It's that kind of energy. And I feel like a lot of business people and politicians like to be out in the golf course to do business. A lot of people joke about that, but it makes sense, because why would you want to be in a stuffy building when you can be out on a beautiful course? And really, if you want to learn about someone that you're thinking about doing business with, that would be a really good way to learn, because the game of golf is like each individual is playing against the last best version of themselves. So you can see a lot how this person approaches life by the way he golfs. Is he a good loser? Is he a good winner? You know, if he has a really bad hold, does he throw his club and throw a temper tantrum, or does he check his emotions, and is he able to recover it, or does he just keep spiraling downward when something goes wrong? You know, that's the kind of energy, like, you can learn a lot. And so that could be part of the message, you know, if you were ever wanting to hire someone, take them golfing. This is, whoops, is this 2 cards here? No. Okay, so we have the 10 of Swords. This is interesting. This is my third and last random shift reading for today. And every single one of them has had this card in it. So I feel like it's at this time that I'm doing these readings, it's an energy in the air, because this represents someone who's been sabotaged and left for unalive here. Someone like that, people have put a lot of effort in to take down. And this can represent like a decade of energy, or it could represent one person 10 times. It could represent 10 different people getting together to collaborate to do so. It could also represent the energy of, 10 groups of people, depending on the situation. And it's a calculated effort to put this person in this position. Now, this card sometimes, it generally does say that there's light at the end of the tunnel, which is why we have this little bit of light. He's looking off into the horizon. And the energy, if you notice his right hand here, it's in the form of a blessing. This is the same blessing, the formation of the hand that the Hierophant has, to show that he's coming in with justice and a blessing. So quite often this card can represent an energy of, this is a blessing in disguise, but it is for sure representing that a cycle is coming to an end. So generally that means that whoever has done this, they thought they succeeded, but you're still, you're still alive and kicking. And so you're down, but you're going to get back up, and you will. There is light at the end of the tunnel here. Shift is going to start getting better as soon as this cycle ends. And then we have the energy of, now that you know what you know. This is talking about conviction beyond a doubt. Like, no, I know what steps I need to take now. They sometimes say when you are down, and there's no hope, and you're at the worst case scenario, that then that gives you the freedom to rise up again. Like the phoenix from the ashes kind of energy is what this is. And this is representing someone, like, this is your energy. And I feel like, at the beginning here, when we said some of these burdens might be yours, like there's 7 wands here left. Maybe you put 3 down, and the people, the energy that you put down, like, and you said, you know what, I'm not carrying your burdens for you anymore. I'm laying them down right in the field here. You can come pick them up. And then you went home and did exactly what you needed to do. Maybe those people weren't that happy with that. We have here, these could be, the wands of other people, or they could be the wands that you've planted, and you're willing to fight for what is yours now. You have this wand across your heart, protecting your heart, and basically it's you're on higher ground, and it's saying, I'm willing to fight for what I know I want to do here and what is mine, and I will fight for it. So that's what this card is representing here. Now, this person may have been in a real rush, like woke up and realized, hey, someone's trying to steal my chickens in the hen house or something. And he comes running out, and he has one boot on and one shoe on. And so it could say he didn't even have time to to notice that he was putting different footwear on before he ran out. Or it could say that he is actually straddling 2 different worlds, like being in this situation and then being out of this situation. Okay, then we have, the 2 of Swords. So the 2 of Swords energy is talking about having a closed mind. And this energy, I feel like it's saying, this person can only see, there's only 2 ways, this or that, my way or the highway, that kind of energy. And you notice the body language is very similar to this individual here. At the lower body, there's leaking energy. and then the crossing of the arms. But you notice here that she actually has the arms crossed over her heart, so it's protecting her heart. And also the right arm, if you notice, is holding the left arm back. And so this is your logic and this is your intuition. And she's blindfolded. So this is saying she can't see anything but two choices here. And there's more than two choices. If she uses her logic with her intuition, she's going to find creative solutions to whatever the problem is. But she can't see it right now. And sometimes, though, this card can represent an energy of someone who's trying to block out everything and protecting herself while she does so, because she wants to go inward. And just like in this position here, be in a position where she can move forward, like get the answers, and she doesn't want any distraction from the outside noise. And when she comes out of the meditative state, she realizes, oh, there's about 3 or 4 ways that I can handle this, and then has been able to. And I feel that following this card, that this is what's happened. This is what's changed in the energy that's allowed you to get up from this right here. And look at that. We have walking away from a situation of love here. And so this is talking like that. Possibly we have like there's a good amount of energy that's been put into something here, and you're walking away from it. Or someone's walking away from you, that kind of energy. Or you're deciding to go get 2 more cups to finish this, so that you can have the 10. So let's look at the different scenarios here. So there's 5 cups that are lined up really nice and neat, and then all of a sudden there's 2 and a gap and 1. So sometimes this can represent in romantic love that there was a third party in the relationship and it caused a major problem. You're walking away, or the other person is walking away because of it. This also can represent the energy of, if it's not romantic love. We do have this cup here, though, and that's the overlying energy. But this cup of love can also represent you having enough love for yourself to walk away from a situation that is not suiting you. We do have the energy of the passion from the King of Wands, though. And so this could be the king of the energy of the King of Wands, which is, okay, I'm going to line these cups up here, and I'm going to go upstream, and I'm going to go find my other 2 cups, which would be the person that they want to be with. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to get all my cups, and then we're going to use that. I'll have all 10. Generally, though, this card does talk about walking away, and we have the full moon and the new moon here, and so this energy can talk about eclipse season. At the time that I'm doing this reading, we just had 2 eclipses. One was a new moon and one was a full moon. And the important thing about the eclipse season to note is that the eclipse season has us hyper focus on the weakest part of our area of our life, basically. And it's really good, because then we're really into the detail of that, and then we can really solve that one problem. And it's the weakest part, so it strengthens us overall. But it's important to remember that when you're hyper focused on one part of your life, that it can cause you to not be seeing the big picture in the whole. And so it's really important to have the whole picture before you take action. So in this reading here, it looks like, okay, there's burdens that need to be laid down, and also there could be some harvest that needs to be sorted through, so you can see what you have to work with. You've definitely been sabotaged and left in this position, left for unalive. There's an energy here of having to protect what you want. Conviction beyond a doubt. You know this is the path you're going to take. This is what you're going to do. You're either walking away from something or walking to something, or it could be both. And it has to do with love. And then this is the energy of having an open mind. And especially after an eclipse and working through all this, you need to really open your mind up to see all the solutions that can come in now that you've worked through it. And then we have the passion of the King of Wands, of wanting to have an adventure, go and discover more, starting to see. I feel like in many ways, this is almost talking about the energy of coming into this energy of being able to offer a cup of love to someone and having the confidence to, like having enough love for yourself that you're able to do that. And like, this is something that you've always wished for. And so maybe there's someone that, you're in the energy of the King of Wands now that you've recovered from this. And there is someone that you thought, hey, I would really love to have them in my life, but they'll never, I'm not enough. There's no way they're going to say yes to me. And then you decide, you know what? Hell yeah. Now that I've been through this, I've learned a lot, and I have way more passion, and I'm going after what I want. So that could represent you going, like, just putting everything down. I'm going to go get me that person, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to have everything we want. Because then it's almost like you're a new person then in this energy. It's kind of, I've never read it quite like that before, but it does feel a little bit that way. Then it's a whole new world. And it's like kind of like having a real fresh start, like having a new outlook on life and having your mind disciplined. So you're not in this energy where you let other people's thoughts get to you, or, you don't let it take you down anymore. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Having having an open mind can be like a parachute. It can save your life, literally. All right. So if this is enough information for you and you're leaving now, please do give it a like and comment if you've received value from this. It really helps me build my channel. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing. You're very welcome. And for those of you that want to find out more clarity, what is this really about? Or, how is this going to happen kind of energy more? You'll know if this is you, if you're in this kind of a situation, scenario. And remember, this could also be the other person doing this. And so they might be coming into your life, and you might get a knock on the door and like, hey, I'm here. Maybe they'll be a little more romantic than that now than they used to be or something. That kind of energy. Yeah, so I'm going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, TAILS. And this is, I have a website, talesfromthevector.com. I started this oracle back in 2007, and I've been working on it. I completed 64 paintings by the end of 2020, and now I'm getting ready to bring it out, but I want to play with it a little bit. You may have noticed in life when you have information on paper and it looks good, it doesn't always work out the same when you put it into action. So I want to play with the cards for a while here while I build my channel, and then write it up. So I only have to do it once. That kind of energy. And so I will put the numbers on these cards represents the numbers of the paintings as they're listed in my gallery. It's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. Lots of really interesting information. So in the description box below, I'll put them in the order they are. So if you do decide you want to go there, you'll know which of the cards that you want to move forward. So this is interesting. This is starting off with transition. And so this is death and rebirth, basically. That's describes this energy here. So this is the blessing in disguise, is that you become a much stronger person because of this, and you're more likely to go on what you want. And from that point on, look at this. You're like, as I said, the Fool goes on this journey. And look at, now that I feel like this belongs here. Now that you've put down the burdens, it's a whole new world, and that cycle is over, and now you start a new one. And this cycle is a foolhardy journey. So when you start off with the Fool, if you have expectations, they're always going to create limitations. But if you just anticipate the journey, and you do your homework, and you kind of and do your best to follow, like, the high road, basically take the high road. That's a good advice. Then you are more likely to have, if you follow your heart's desires, you're more likely to have a foolhardy journey, and you can anticipate having a really good cycle, basically. Sorry, my cat just is here. I gotta push her down now. Okay, you gotta lay down or sit down or something. Thank you. She discovered I'm doing a reading without her. Her job is to sit on my lap and purr. A cat's purr raises the vibration to a healing energy. It's really powerful. So she always likes to be here and do her part. All right, so we have abuse of power. This is a karmic space. So this could be an energy where, you were in a situation clearly where there was people around you that knew maybe powerful people that could pull strings in that, and they pulled strings to kind of take you down. And usually when this happens, and you might say, well, why would they do that? Some people just do it for, they think it's fun. But the other part is they usually have to it has to be for a reason of generally follow the money. And that's generally the way, or it could be the need to be right. So this could be that they just feel that you are someone that they have power over, and they want to use it. And it's kind of like maybe they heard some like these swords represent the thoughts of other people and what other people, the words that they use when they describe you, etc. And so this can be talking about that your reputation was slandered and ruined. So these people are, we have to take this person down and out. And so this is, the need to be right can be really destructive, because if you have to be right, then you have to be right about everything. And it's this my way or the highway energy. And then you can't see the creative solutions to your problem to be able to move forward. And then we have the energy, I'm laughing because we have the energy of perception. So if there was a lover involved in the situation that you walked away from, it was someone that felt like the grass was greener on the other side. But now they've discovered that the grass was greener because it was fake. And so now it's kind of an energy where they may even have been wanting to come back for you. And, if people show you the first time who they are, it's saying here, you would be better off to have a new adventure, basically. And that this cup of love is coming, it is destined to come into your life at some point here. And maybe focus right now on loving yourself first and foremost. The intent, the karmic space of intent is, people can have really good intentions, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So the energy is talking about, not going by, like, it's kind of, I feel like this situation that maybe your intuition was telling you, this person, this doesn't feel quite right, but you were kind of like, you needed to be right about it because you already were attached to the situation. And so this is now talking more about recognizing that, you don't want to look at someone and say, oh, they have so much potential, I'm sure they'll change. You can't count on someone changing. And especially if it's someone that you've already had in your life and they've put you in this situation. If you take someone like that back, then you are now abusing yourself, basically. And this is justice coming in. So the justice is going to be living well. And I do feel that I feel that you're on this other energy. And as I said, this could be someone that treated you poorly and they want you back. And you would have to you'll know yourself. But I say, like, basically, if people show you who they are the first time and you end up like this after knowing them, then, that's the one time you can really believe them. They're showing you who they really are. So justice is really talking about living well. The best revenge is living well. And also redemption is referring to clearing karma. So sometimes we end up having people come into our lives and they feel like they're really for us. But sometimes that can just represent karma. And really, that's our big job, is to clear karma when we come down here. And the part that's challenging about that is, we don't remember what the karma is or who it was with, kind of energy. So it's it's a game of experience, basically. So I would say that if someone's coming in to your life and from the past and they've put you in this energy, then you're probably going to miss out on this love that's just right around the corner here. And so, stay strong and remember, if this person thought the grass was greener on the other side and now they're coming back because what they had there was fake, what if it was real? Would they have stayed and they would have left you in this situation? That kind of energy. And also realizing with this perception that maybe you could have green grass just by being with someone that would be willing to look after it with you. Like you could water it and weed it and cut it often, and then you would have a beautiful lawn. You can have a real lawn, real green grass. It doesn't have to be fake. That's the kind of energy I feel like this is talking about. So I do hope you receive something out of this message. Give it a like and a comment if you have. I really would appreciate it. It helps me to build my channel. Subscribe to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I would be honored if you did so, and you're more than welcome. I'll be back with some more random reads. After this reading, though, I am, excuse me, I'm losing my voice a bit today. After this reading, I'm working on doing bonus readings for the upcoming new moon on the 18th of the month, and so that's what I'll be busy doing that and then I'll come back and do some more of these. Bye for now.